G'day, Doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. We've got another new recruit player watch, and it is one of the new breed of players from emerging young talents from our juniors in Jack Todd. Now, Jack was one of the ones named by Gus last year as likely to be one of the next players to emerge, and he was all set and primed to be one of those players to make his debut. He unfortunately broke his arm, and then also got another injury, a sort of similar sort of injury like that when he came back. So Lipoi Hopoi actually stepped up in that period where we needed some people to come through, and whereas that probably would have been Jack Todd. It's not to diminish anything that Lipoi Hopoi had done. He definitely deserved his opportunity, but we all know these things, It's sometimes one person's loss is another person's gain, but it was being suggested that Jack was the one who was going to debut last year, and he's since been elevated to the top 30, which is a really good sign for him. So, he is 22 years old. He'll be turning 23 in April. He's about 6'2" and weighs about 106 kilos. Now, he's from Manila. You see northern New South Wales. He's from Dungowan and part of our pathway system. He's been with us since 2019, and he's had some really good some runs with us. So I will show some. I'll definitely show some highlights of him now. They go for a couple of minutes. I just want you to show you how good this kid was coming through Jersey Flag and playing New South Wales Cup. Didn't seem too difficult for him at all. He handled that really well, and I expect to see he'll be a real leader in that New South Wales Cup pack with the likes of, but there'll be some other players that'll be there for sure that have a lot of experience and have done really, really well. Whether it's Daniel Saluka Fafita or Tom Amone or, any of those players, could be Sam Hughes dropping back at certain points. Could be Max King. You do not know. We have pretty good depth in this area now, and they're players that can play long minutes and players that have good footwork, good work ethic, and can make their tackles. So I don't have many stats for you or anything like that, but let's have a look at Jack Todd. We've got a couple of minutes there of his highlights. So let's watch him here.
Into opposition territory now.
You can hear a bit of commentary in the background. This is a whole bunch of highlights from him. Just busting through there. Pretty poor defense by the Rooters. But look at that step for a big fella, And then he offloads to Joey O'Neill, keeps it going. Stepping off the left, good footwork. Saw the line, hadn't engaged properly and did exactly what he's supposed to. Some really good stuff there. His first one after a kick chase, putting pressure on the fullback. And this is good stuff here. Straight through the Raiders he goes, I think it's the Raiders. And gets beautiful offload for a try to Harry Hayes, backing up. Here he is here. Step off the left, straight through the Sharks' feeble defence for a beautiful try assist there. There's Mitch Woods taking to the line. No, I think that was Joey O'Neill, actually. And Jack Todd just straight through. Beautiful ball from Damon Marshall onto Todd, playing lock in this match. And look at him go. He's like an outside back. Gets the beautiful ball into the winger who goes over untouched. Hayes Perham into Todd off the kickoff. Straight into the contact. We dominated the Knights in both these matches in that year. There he is again. He's going great guns there in that match. There we go again. Just really good leg speed through the middle there and setting up the play for Toby Sexton to run amok. More post contact again, hard to pull down. And then the next play, we run away and score. So that was some of his highlights there. Thanks to Andrew Macker from Twitter for getting those through to us. It was really good to see. We might just keep replaying those for a little bit more. But, what are we expecting from Jack Todd, and how is he going to fit in to the Bulldogs in 2025? Look, I expect him and Underhill, Hopoi, even young Harry Hayes, they're going to be the mainstay of that pack for quite a while in New South Wales Cup. And I think they, when they get their opportunities, they're going to take them. We won't be able to keep them all, but some of these players, and you've got young Luke Smith, they're all leaders. They're all hard workers. They're all trustworthy. And they're all players that we're going to be able to rely on. And I'm expecting a really good season from our New South Wales Cup, as we usually do expect. But especially with the experience that these young fellas got in a side which was competing at the prize end of the season, So it's not like they were just got their opportunity because we were getting flogged every match. They got their opportunities because they earned it. And Jack Todd would have been right in the thick of it, as Gus Gould had said. So we're expecting him that he's going to have a good preseason and he will emerge as a player to watch for 2025. I think you'd have to say he would be ahead of a young Jack Underhill at this point. But Underhill's got the world at his feet, as many of these players do. And he's definitely got some class about him, this Jack Todd. Whether he's going to be playing lock or front row, I don't think he's an edge player, but everything seems to be up the middle. But he gets to his feet, he gets to his front quickly. He's got a good style, an awkward style, and we'll see how good he goes against the men. That's going to be the big question for Jack Todd. And from everything that everybody's telling me, this young kid is going to be one that we really expect to take those next steps. So from a recruitment point of view, they want to make sure they keep their options open, where they just keep recruiting players on these 1 and 2 year deals, giving them small extensions, knowing that these players in first grade have got a job to do, and not all of them are going to be able to hold, their bodies aren't always going to hold up, right? So in doing this job with that defensive system, with the expectations of this club, some of these players are just going to fill temporary roles while these youngsters emerge. And Jack Todd and the Underhills and the Hopboys and Harry Hayes, they're just the beginning. There's players you haven't heard of yet, which have the profile and give every indication that they're going to be the ones coming through as well. So I wouldn't fall too in love with all these kids that are coming through. Some are going to look like they're going to be absolute superstars, like Jack Todd, but not all of them are going to make it. I'm pretty sure we all know that's just the way it is. But there will be some that are going to come through, and some of the guys that you're in love with now that are in the side are going to, get their bread and butter at another club, because we're going to have to make way in our salary cap for these youngsters coming through, because there are some talented players. But I think from what I'm seeing with the recruitment at the Bulldogs is they're recruiting based on hard work, players that can play long minutes, players that have got some footwork, players that can play their roles, and they're not going after the huge big boppers anymore. Like Daniel Saluka Fafita is pretty big, and Sam Hughes isn't small either. But both those players are expected to be able to play long minutes. Max King plays pretty long minutes. These guys in our side aren't massive, but they're getting more experience, and they're getting these jobs done. So Jack Todd's going to fit that profile. I'd expect he'll be even more defined and more built now as a 22 turning 23-year-old, and he'll be ready to be stepping up for the NRL should he not have any injuries and that sort of thing. So we've got some good depth there. I expect this kid to be one that that makes his debut in 2025. And, the sky's the limit for him. The world's their oyster, as Birdo said on a podcast the other day. And they're all in it together. And Jack Todd will be the first one, I think, emerging of the debutants from our pack. Unless it's an outside back or someone in the halves that needs to step up due to injuries or whatever, to a Toby or a Birdo. But as far as the forwards go, this kid's going to be one of the first debutants, I believe, for 2025. All right, let me know what you think about Jack Todd. Some really good reports about him from a lot of the scouts out there, a lot of the people who take interest in the youngsters. Wish we had more footage from him. I could go and extrapolate. That's a big word. I could go get some from different apps and stuff like that, but it does take a lot of time, which I don't have. So anyway, that's Jack Todd. It's getting exciting, guys. We're not too far away. We get to watch the Bulldogs versus the Tigers before the doubleheader in Redcliffe, which I think will be a pretty full-on trial, and it's a sellout at the Redcliffe match. So anyway, tell us what you think about Jack Todd. Like and subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, let's get behind our youngsters. Let's go. Go the Dogs.